All right. We are live, and I already see 10 people have joined the show. Thank you, everyone, for joining the show. This is the U-Turn Show. If you are new to this program, we inspire, educate, and spotlight the incredible work that our community members are doing. And today we are spotlighting the expertise that Samuel Ajak Thiong, offer, and that we can benefit, the community can benefit from this. Before we dive into this show, I am happy to say that we am joined by my U10 colleague who are co-host, Alakir, all the way from Vancouver, BC, and Dorcas, all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. So thank you for joining me, wonderful ladies. And for all of you who are joining this show, please share this conversation because it's very, very important conversation. Our today's conversation is specifically for job seekers, young professional, and anyone that is navigating uncertainty in their career journey. So you will be given some tools to enable you to get clarity in your career journey. Our guest Samuel Ajak Thiong, who is not new to me, my mentor, career mentor, brings a lot of wisdom, practical wisdom on how to win, in job market, how to compete, and how to thrive in today's workplace, while at the same time protecting your integrity, your mental health, and long-term vision, career vision. So get your coffee ready, get your tea set up, and really open your mind to learn and benefit from this conversation so that you go into next year in Chirot shopping. So we'll speak predominantly in English. As usual, sometimes we mix with some Dinka language, but today's conversation will be mostly English. So we reach anyone and anybody that is, looking for improvement or a U-turn in their careers. So I don't want to take so much time talking. Today is really to spotlight Samuel. So Samuel, thank you so much for joining the U-Turn show. Really honored to have you here. For those who don't know you, can you start by a bit introducing yourself? How did you get here? And why are you excited to share your knowledge and wisdom in this space? So take it away, Samuel. You can unmute and
Thank you, Paul Philip, Dorcas, and Alakir for hosting this show today. I'm happy to be here in Utah, although this is my first time to be live in a studio. So if you see me nervous or struggling to get to the expectation, then you should know that this is my first time show, and first time sometimes you can struggle to cope with the situation. I was not getting you clearly, but I got the question, and as you have also seen, I'm also greeting the viewers, those who will be watching this live, and those who will watch it maybe at a later date. I'm happy to be in Utah, and it is an opportunity to share some of my experience. As you have seen my name, I am Samuel Ajak Thiong. I am an HR professional, a career development, and an author of some books, and a mentor too, with over 17 years experience in the area of human resources, working in different organizations and the United Nations, especially UNICEF, in a different humanitarian settings. My professional journey has taken me through a diverse and often a complex duty station, including South Sudan, where I am at the moment. I've also worked in different field locations here. I've traveled to different parts of South Sudan. I've worked in Sudan, Khartoum, and also in Kenya, where I started my career, especially as a professional. I've also worked in Afghanistan. I worked also in the U.S., New York, with UNICEF headquarters. Um, this is where I have supported staff, especially leadership, leading a group of people, also leading in people's management, recruitment, performance management. I've also worked in HR administration and career development, where I advise uh, staff on how to how to develop their own careers in those high pressures and environment. So the topic today that I will share, or that I will be sharing, is as young professional and those who are working today, how do you become ready in your career? What are the professional growth and navigation through the world of work with the purpose and resilience? So here, sometimes people struggle with their careers, but to me and people who have worked with me, it is something that I have supported staff, and I've been really doing that to support my colleague, and also to see my colleague also thriving in different workplaces. So my journey has not just been a straightforward journey in human resources. I have experienced sometimes job transition, organizational change, toxic working environment, and some sort of competition. Uh, Uncertainty also, and reinventing my career. So this life experience combined with my professional role in HR shaped my understanding that careers are not just about getting a job, but about building a sustainability, dignity, and also long-term job security in the workplace. So over the years, I have sat on both sides of the table as a recruiter, screening CVs, interviewing candidates, and also as a professional, navigating also career decision myself. That perspective also inspired me to write some uh, books focusing on practical career and life guidance. So how I arrived there, I have been advising people or my colleague on Facebook, and people came to me that instead of sharing Facebook writings, why don't you put them in books? And working with UN sometimes uh, can be busy, so I did not get time to write those books. And when I exited UNICEF and joined a different organization, I have that chance to write uh, my first books. And my first book was on mastering the art of of an expressive CV, which help job seekers present their values clearly and competitively. Uh, a generic CV sometimes get ignored, especially for me who have been reviewing CVs and doing shortlisting and interviews. If you are just writing, throwing just in a generic CV, you will get ignored. You will never get shortlisted, and that would be a waste of time. So I came up with an idea of writing a book uh, to support individuals who are looking for jobs, especially on CVs. What type of CV do a professional uh, need to get hired, especially when you are a first time their universities and they want to transition out to jobs. There are two different types of CVs. A CV for a person who is a fresh graduate and a professional who is trying to change jobs and to get a promotion or another opportunity elsewhere. So all this I have to write something, put it down, and share it widely, and make sure all our people get that book, and that book was shared. Uh, I shared it as a soft copy. It was never in Juba. Most of my time I used to spend uh, supporting individuals who are looking for jobs, especially in supporting writing their CVs, and that work I used to do it over the weekend. And I was advised, instead of supporting individuals on daily basis, you put it in a book, and I put it in a book and shared with members in different WhatsApp group, in different platform, and that book is online. It can be accessed by anyone to help them write their book. They write their CVs. The second book was Win the Job: How to Prepare, Impress, and Learn Your Dream Job. That book is a practical book that is having question and answers, and I decided to go for that book because those who are trying to do interview, most of our people struggle because they don't know how to attend interview, how to play the panel, and sometimes they miss opportunities when they don't do well in the interview. Um, this book also assess not just your skills, because if you look at the panel don't just read your mind. You have to show what you know. And at the panel, at the end of the day, when you get out of that panel, to the panel, and character, your potential, the ability to fit into the organization will be assessed. And this will be assessed the way you presented yourself to the panel. That book is also available. It is on sale, and I think you have a copy there. The other book was on From Setback to Comeback, Turning Job Loss into Opportunity. As you know, with the global uh, 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 job market at the moment, where most of the organizations are changing, most of the companies are changing, there are a lot of people who are losing their job. And I thought of supporting those who lost their job. How do you Where do you start when you lose your job today? Which address resilience, reinvention after the career disruption. So losing a job can feel shocking, can be painful. It can also be destabilizing. But this book position it as a powerful reset moment. So job loss forces reflection. You have to put yourself um, to open doors, not to open doors, but to knock doors so that you get something at the end of the day. So the doors you knock today may open and they may not open if you are not prepared. So many successful careers begin after an unexpected setback. Uh, the key is to view the loss not as a failure, but as a redirection toward something better. And I will explain it later on when I talk about when I talk about the whole book. The other book is Workplace Wisdom: Strategies for Overcoming Toxic Working Environment, which help professionals to protect their mental health, integrity at work. Most of us, some are working with toxic managers, toxic supervisors, but how do you protect uh, your mental health. How do you navigate to go through without losing yourself? So that book is also on sale. It is one of the books that can guide you to manage yourself. And most of our workplaces can be toxic, and if you don't control yourself, you may also become uh, a victim of toxic working environment. The other book is on thriving in the workplace, a guide for professional and a guide for personal and professional success, which also focuses on the growth, the professionalism, and navigating organizational dynamics, and also the importance of having a family and also working at the same time. How do you keep both your family and your work without losing any of them? So that is the other book. And the last book is on the retirement blueprint. Some of us are working today, but we don't have real people that we are looking up to. We have been working, but saving is almost zero because we are still in that society where we support one another. But how do you work and save for tomorrow? Because at the end of the day, you must retire at the age of 65, at the age of 60 or 70, depending on which workplace do you work in. So this work is meaningful uh, to me to write books, and I have witnessed firsthand how the right guidance can transform life. I have seen talented people struggling simply because they lack the information, they lack the mentorship, the confidence, and I have also seen how clarity, preparations, and the right mindset can open doors. So my purpose to share honest, practical knowledge that help people make their career decision and avoid unnecessary mistakes. So I am here to help our young professionals to build their own careers and have a peace of mind and secure their own future. That is what I am up to. So in this changing job market, you must be prepared. There is no excuse when you don't do well in the interview. There is no excuse when you just get that job and get fired because you don't know how to navigate those toxic working environment. So these are some of the things that I put into books, and I want our professional who are joining different organizations today to make sure they are supported. Even if I don't come personally, they'll get them in the book and they will read for themselves and survive in those toxic working environments. And financial preparedness, that is why we have a book on retirement. You have to start saving now. You don't need to wait until you are 40, 50 to start saving for your retirement. So that is what I can share, and that is what I can say about myself. Um, I am here to support some of the staff who are working. I'm supporting those who are looking for jobs in order to get the right CV, get the right cover letter, and also how to navigate the interview and get the job. So thank you, and that is about myself. But I'll have to hand over to you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. And you know what, I'm honored to, give yourself permission to really, share your wisdom freely with people. I have the 4 books with me. I'll show them all later on, and I can even post them again to our U10 fan if they want to see. Personally, I benefited so much from your CV writing expertise. I remember when I was about to finish my undergrad and I was thinking about job market, and I had my, for example, CV was sketchy, generic. And I was looking for a job and I was not getting answers. And I reached out to you, and before you could even share opportunity with me, you said, let's fix your CV. And that was really the beginning of my career. After we fixed that CV, I started applying and I got interviews, and boom, my career started up to now. So for those who are listening, you have now the free privilege to get the wisdom and fix your things, and without wasting time, and blaming yourself and thinking that there are no opportunities. There are opportunities for the prepared, for those who are, who have done their homework. So thank you so much. We have some few questions. I will ask the first one, and then Lakir will ask the next, and then Dorcas. And if there's some question coming from our audience, we will also, pass them along so that you can give us as much wisdom as possible for free before we can go and buy books to come to go into the depth. So the first question that I'm asking is, what does it really mean to be the CEO of your own career? We have seen that there's so much changes, as you mentioned, transition, and the world is changing every day with AI and everything. So now give us some guidance on how to be the one leading our career journey without just thinking that if you get your degree, you can get a job. If you get PhD, you get a job. Or maybe if you go and watch SSBC, you may be announced as the next you degree in.
Yeah, thank you, Paul Philip, about that question. Career ownership is no longer optional because the traditional promise of job security has really changed. Organizations today operate in an environment shaped by funding. Then some of the areas are volatile. Then there is restructuring everywhere. Then geopolitical shocks and also the rapid changing technologies. Uh, all this, even the most committed, high performing staff can find it hard to maintain the job. So, what is very important here about being a CEO of your career is that the career is your own responsibility. That career means recognizing that you are not that not you're you are you are responsible for your own career because it is not the role of the employer to make sure you are promoted, to make sure you get the job. It is you who is responsible for your own professional survival, growth, and also remaining relevant in the job market. So practically, this involves treating your career as a long-term enterprise. You are active uh, or you are actively you have to manage your skills, your portfolio, then you continue investing in your own career. That means by protecting your professional reputation, you'll have to regularly assess your market value. What are you bringing to that organization? Because at some point, knowledge declines. If you don't top it, even in the work you have, you may also lose it. That means as a professional, you'll have to be on top of your own career. And it means you have to think beyond your current job title. A CEO does not wait for permission to plan uh, for the future. Similarly, a career focused professional, you'll have to anticipate change. You'll also have to build transferable skills. Then you have also to document your achievement and maintain visibility within and outside your current organization or company that you are working in. So here, instead of reacting to crisis when you maybe lose your job, you'll have to prepare for them. And I'll give you an example. In a humanitarian settings, I have seen high performing staff members losing their own job or their own position just overnight due to funding. As you have seen, USAID decided to shut down globally, and most of the people that were working there were just surprised that they have no jobs. And if you are not prepared, what happens? You lose your job, you go home. So the individuals who recovered quickly were not necessarily the most loyal or long-serving staff members who are working in different organizations. So they were the one who continues to upgrade their skills, build their professional network across the organization, and also kept their CVs and profile to current. So many of them, uh, I think many of them had already had informal conversation, maybe with their mentors, their referees, and also an alternative option in mind. Because if you are if you lose your job today, the next thing is to get back to the market and get another one. And if you are not prepared, maybe everything will come to an end. So, in contrast, those who assume the organization would always protect them were often caught unprepared. So emotionally shaken, financially stressed, the difference was not the talent, it was the ownership of your own career. If you have been there, stuck, stagnant, not doing anything with your careers, most of the professional in those workplaces, what they do, even if you are working today, tomorrow you may wake up and you lose your job. But if you have not been preparing for another job in case of anything, you will go home and you will not get a job as you may anticipate. So that's why I was saying being a CEO of your own career is not optional. You must be prepared, you must be ready anytime, and others like us, even if you are working, you'll have to get a if you see a position advertised, you have to apply, go for that interview, and just for in case of anything, then you know how to do an interview. But if you wait until the end, you have not upgraded your skill, you have not prepared mentally on how to do some of the interviews, even getting another job will be difficult. And so, being a CEO, you'll have to focus, keep your career online, and make sure every time you update your CV, revisit your interviewing skills, and also your networking. How do you keep your referees uh, informed about your intentions? So these are some of the things that when you are a CEO of your own career, you must be prepared. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. We have this mindset that you can be founder and CEO of a business, but being a founder and CEO of your career, it's a new thing. So people like Joel Mayula are starting, okay, this is new, and this is new to me. I've been in my current job for the last 5 years now, and I've never been thinking outside the box that I actually need to, practice my interview skill. Try to apply for a job, and if I don't want, just to go and practice in case. And so, thank you so much. That is very eye opening. I think that's the U10 thing that I'll do next year. Start updating my resume, what I've learned over the last 5 years in my job, and start applying and practice. And while second with you talk a lot, talk up land. So thank you. Career, we need to sharpen our career, knife. Thank you so much. I'll pass it over to Alaki to ask the next question. I'm really inspired and I learned one new thing. Over to you.
Thank you. I've learned a lot, like assessing your market value while you're still in your current job. I may need a little more strategy on how to do that. Thinking beyond the job, preparing for crisis, preparing your team like referees, mentors to help you along the way. But I want us to shift the gear a little bit and talk about the actual doing of the job. How do you? It's easy to obsess on titles. Oh, I want to be manager. I want to be director. But how do we focus on mastery of doing the work such that, and that's what really matters. If you want to transfer the skills over, you have to do the work. So, what are some things that we need to keep on in mind when we are trying to get transferable skills in a workplace?
Um, yeah. Uh, what I mastering your uh, you mastering of your own skills is very important in a career. So what is very important here is how do you how do you start, especially uh, for mentorship, especially that maybe you have to repeat.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm saying, speaking of focusing on career, no, career mastery, instead of obsessing over titles, what does it look like in the competitive job market today?
Okay, I think I can come back now to get what you are saying. Um, Career mastery in competitive job market these days uh, is it I think is the quite advantage that outclass titles or organization chart and structures. So at its core, mastery means being consistently valuable because your skills solve real problems. Sometimes you can travel across roles and remain relevant even when your job level disappear. So titles can grant you or taken away maybe uh, what you are supposed to get. And I mean here, for example, uh, you are, if I can give you an example of South Sudan, where job title is value much, uh, but job title without the skills can mislead you until you get lost in that career. So what is very important, look at uh, what is it that you do, what do you understand, and what do you do, and why, when, and what risks are involved if you are having those big titles. So what I want to emphasize here is that uh, judgment under pressure can mislead some people. And if you get a position that is giving you title, but you don't have the knowledge, the skill for that title, it will all be useless. So mastery show that clearly during the uncertainty or during the crisis, if you have not mastered what you are supposed to be doing and you only get the title, you will even lose what you have at that moment, because it is not the title that matters. It is the skill that you are bringing to that job. And if you have that value in you, then that mastery of that skill is important. It is better than a person who is having a bigger title and want to get that job, but you with your smaller title but with the skills, you will be more valuable than the person who is having the title and without a skill. So here I'm trying to relate what it means to master the skill in your profession, and what it means for somebody who is just random, who is getting a position, a title without skills. So your skills must match with the title that you are holding. And that's why I was saying, if you want to master your skill, especially in HR, be good in HR, know all areas of HR than having a title of HR manager, but with zero skills in HR. So Here, I'll give you a practical example of an HR professional uh, who understand HR system, who understand what it means, who understand labor laws, the analytic or the HR analytic, the HR behavior, can consistently outperform and outlast someone with a superior title or a senior title, but a narrow expertise. For example, if you are good in only managing entitlements, it will not take you anywhere. You will only be managing that small scale part of HR. But somebody who has all the skills in HR and has mastered them would always do better. So don't focus on titles. Focus on the real expertise and skills that when you are given a job, you will do it better. And for example, when compliance issues arise for somebody who is doing that narrow with a senior title, but a narrow expertise, when issues arise like disputes or system fail, leadership turn to the person with the mastery. Even if that role are restructured, that professional will remain employable because their value is there. But if you lose your job today and you don't have that expertise, you will always struggle to find a job. So in short, title may open doors, but mastery keep you in those offices or rooms. Title attract attention, but mastery secure a long-term jobs. That is what I can say about having title and having the skills. So skills are better than titles. When you choose a job that will give you a practical skill, a job that will give you uh, a time to apply your knowledge, than a title that will take you to an office but without anything that you get out of it. So that is what I can say about mastery of uh, of um of the job. And I was talking about an example in South Sudan. In South Sudan, if you can remember, uh, you can be fired today and you are a minister. It is maybe one quarter of our population will be having those title of being former minister, being former commissioner, and all this. So those titles sometimes can mislead and can keep you out of the job if you don't really get a skill that you can apply in a particular duty station, organization, a company, or maybe a better government institution. That's what I can say. Thank you.
Nothing more to add. That was perfect. Thank you so much. I will pass it to Dorcas to ask the next question.
Oh, okay, Samuel. That's really great and good so far. So, I just need to ask a question about the workplace issues. You know, in the work, when you go for the work, the people that you meet there will know they are not your friend. Neither the people that you know they are not your relative. And with the human kind of competition, politics, and I don't know all those challenges people face, like people are competing who is going to be upgraded, who is going to be appreciated and rewarded, and you will see all these things that are working against others and all those things. So how do you tell a young person out there to make sure that he or she remain professional to the ethics or to the work ethics, not associating him or herself, but make sure that get the distance, knowing that they are not friend or they are not that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dorcas. Most of the workplaces are more than home to some of the staff members or to the staff, because you spend 8 hours a day working in that duty station or working in that workplace. So in every institution, there is always issues of politics, office politics, things to do with gossiping, things with to do with managers, how you behave and how you can control yourself. Because if you spend most of your day there, that means there is a bit of politics that must run around for you to continue also uh, uh, to continue to engage. So what is very important there is integrity, and integrity in whatever you are doing in that workplace is very important. In a toxic working environment, you must always protect yourself, and you cannot isolate yourself. You are there to navigate, and you'll have to come with different strategies to survive. So if you want to be professional, so professional do not need to withdraw or disappear or appear aloof. Instead, they must choose carefully where, how, and when they can engage. So the goal in that workplace is to remain visible. For for example, if you are in if you are in that group, or if you are in that workplace, the right thing to do is to refuse to be pulled down and remain productive. So staying focused on growth requires a lot of clarity of purpose. So when professionals know what they are building, skills, you'll have to look also your own credibility in that workplace. You'll also have to work for your own future mobility. Future mobility means growing upward. For example, getting promotion, getting other position that can make you busy and satisfied. So when you are in that situation, you have to be less tempted by gossip or alliances driven by fear, for example, and there is also that what we call short-term popularity in the workplace. Short-term popularity is what you want to make sure you are popular, you want to be everywhere, you want to be seen. But what is very important here is integrity is maintained by aligning your words, your actions, your documentation with facts. Because at the end of the day, performance is what will determine whether you will remain there or not. So performance is better than those emotions and rumors. So when you are in that workplace, please, the only thing you can do is to engage in things that can protect your own integrity. Then social and professional relevance also comes in from your own contribution. Are you also reliable in your office? People who are consistently valued are those who speak thoughtfully. Whatever you do, whether in a meeting, whether in the corridors of those offices, whether with colleagues or managers or juniors, you have to deliver results and you have to do the right thing. When you are speaking, you need to think before you speak. Don't just say anything, because anything that you say may be used against you. So what you can also do is you listen more than you speak. Sometimes you have to avoid taking side publicly and manage information carefully. And over time, this build your own reputation and maturity and what we call dependability in the office, because your manager, your supervisors, your supervisees will always look up to you. If you don't do most of the things correctly, you'll have integrity issue, you'll have stain also your reputation in that organization. So what I can also add as an example that I have observed maybe for many years in different workplaces is that I have observed some professionals succeed in highly political workplaces by deliberately choosing substance over noise. You see, do the right thing, something that is tangible, something that can be recognized instead of being noisy, being everywhere. And at the end of the day, there's no results. So instead of competing for attention through opinions, alliances, and also anchor their visibility in value. That is what is important. So in meetings, when you want to contribute, you contribute thoughtfully. Ask clarification if there is a question put across, and focus discussion on solution rather than uh, personalities. So in every meetings, you just don't need to speak. And I can give you an example when I was working with UNICEF in New York. And in a meeting, sometime you'll have to write your opinion than just talking in the meeting, because you don't need to be mistaken, or you don't need to be quote. So most of the time, where people set themselves up is when you want to be everywhere, when you want to be noisy in the workplace. When something happened, those noisy staff are the one that can be sacrificed first. So what you can do in the workplace is you intentionally avoid gossip, circles, and informal conversation built around blames, speculations, then internal rivalries. It is very common in South Sudan here. At the same time, do not isolate them. At the same time, at some point, don't isolate others and don't isolate yourself. Remain in those groups, but speak less and do your job. So even in those coffee breaks, people will come trying to start a conversation. If you think that conversation will not take you anywhere, don't even comment. And that is what can protect your reputation in that workplace. So over time, uh, those toxic managers or staff that are with you in that organization, they build quiet alliances, and then with decision makers are respected fields based on the trust, reliability, and disclosure rather than the real politics in the workplace. So when tension rise, their names are associated with the stability, facts, delivery, not drama. So as a result, uh, you need to do the right thing, uh, protect yourself, then also keep yourself visible. Then even if you want to move around offices, do that respectfully, but don't engage in those politics, because those politics sometimes they always end uh, uh, in a different direction that you may not like. So be professional when you are engaging in office politics. Also, when you are in toxic working environment, make sure you don't lose yourself, because uh, you need to be prepared, know when to talk, know when to react, know when to ask questions, and also know when it is time to leave. So this is what I can say about office politics. Office politics is not always a good thing, but it is part of our professional life, and we must navigate, uh, move with it, and it will always be there, and there's nothing we can do. The only thing you can do is to protect yourself, protect your professional integrity, and also build better alliances not the gossip group or those alliances that are working to bring down others. Thank you.
Wow, I think that has been answered exhaustively. I don't know if Dorcas has any clarification, but to me and everyone is agreeing with you that if you go with offices, yum chirkada and Facebook, TikTok, you will be sacrificed.
Yes.
So personally, I'm learning. So I'm doing all you tell what you tell all officers you can a good employee. I need to know what to talk about and what not to talk about, and that is wisdom. Reading the environment. And there were three questions from audience. I will have them. One was actually about the branding, which you have actually repeatedly mentioned, that remain visible. So, remain visible by demonstrating your values, your contribution. But maybe if you can go deeper, answering Ayenathon question, what are the most common personal branding mistake you see, and how can professionals fix them? Right? You want to be relevant, but how do that drive to brand yourself in your work or in your office can cause
Yeah,
problems?
I think branding is a bigger thing, but let me give you a simple example. To brand yourself in the workplace is choose your career and work hard to be visible in that career. If I can give you an example of someone called PLO. In here, if you talk about someone called PLO, you will definitely know that PLO is a good orator, a constitutional lawyer, and this is somebody who has really branded himself to be visible in that field of law. And if, for example, if you want to be known in that job, you need to work hard so that you are visible. And at some point here, I do a lot of CV writing for others. And when someone requests me that I'm looking for a candidate to be working in finance, for example, names will come to mind. Those who have mastered their field of finance, and you will definitely pick a CV and send. But if you are just a random uh, person who is not in one specific field, I can call it uh, gambling through different fields. You are finance today, tomorrow you are HR, then next day you are a supply logistic person. It will be difficult to be known because you have not mastered one area. So branding yourself is giving you master one area so that you are known and you will be known. And if, for example, in the world of football, if you talk about if you want to buy a striker today, you will definitely go for those who are scoring goals. And if you are in the world of basketball, then you know who is the best basketballer. That is also applicable in a career. In a career, if you are a protection person, do it so that you are visible in protection and you will be spotted. If you are in HR, like myself, I remember I got invitation. I don't know where they got my CVs, but I was invited for interviews and I go for them. That is when you build your own career so that you are visible there. So that is what is called personal branding. Personal branding is to master your area of specialization. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Jumping Ayanathon. So for me, and a call play by anything want to do with U10, just put my name there. That's what I want to be known. And that's what I like you want to be known to, and all of the U10 people here. So thank you for asking that question. And thank you, Samuel, for answering it very clearly. That brand is not about you saying I'm like this or I'm like that. It's you mastering the specific skill that when your name is mentioned, that skill is also feel like that skill has been mentioned, and that is the brand that you need to keep in mind. Another question from my end before I ask another question from Paul, and then I'll throw it back to Alaki to ask the question. So I had asked one question about networking. She's asking, how can young professionals build meaningful or what she means career networks when they don't yet have strong industry connection. This may be like a young someone just graduated and has been doing some internship here and there. How can they really build a network that can support them in their career growth?
Yeah, for young graduates who are joining uh, the world of work, what is very important is know your profession. What is the line of your career, and who are the people who are practically doing that current job, especially where you want to align your career, and reach out. What is very important also is when you get out of those universities, those campuses, the most important thing is to reach out to professionals who are working. They will direct you to the right person that will uh, maybe mentor you, because mentoring at the end of the day is where should start. I remember when I was with UNICEF, we started an internship program for female candidates. And what we used to do, we give them jobs, we invest them in different sections, and we give them mentors to train them on how to do their job. But currently, with the current funding issues, most of the UN agencies, the NGOs, they are no longer really taking interns. But what is very important there is when you have somebody when you know somebody who's working, even if it is a local NGO within, you'll have to reach out, get yourself a CV, be guided to get the right CV, and also take an internship with those local NGOs, international NGOs, even if it is the UN, if they have opportunities, then you can start from there. But what is very important in networking is network doesn't just happen. You'll have to get out of your comfort zone and go and knock doors. They don't come calling for people to come and be connected. Uh, the other thing is our own uh, fear. Sometimes, South Sudanese, we have our own. South Sudanese, I have also seen with Afghans, we are too conservative and we fear to reach out, to go and ask. Uh, that does not apply in the global job market. What is very important here is you'll have to connect. Go and know that person that you don't know. If you are sitting in the table here, like if we enter the room, I have seen in different meetings that I have attended, a person will come and go straight to the person he knows, instead of going to that person he don't know or she don't know, so that he go and network. Because this is where networks are built. Network don't just come. You'll have to go for them. They will not come for you if you don't come. So that is how I can answer that question. Thank you.
Well answered, well answered. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really a fan of network because I really also believe that what you just said, that network don't come to you in Kelon, okay? So when I reach out to you, I was still in undergraduate and I came to my undergrad, but I was reaching out to people, yeah, when coach, people who are in the field, people who have the skill I didn't have, and they helped me out. And I really encourage you if you are a young person still in university or college, still even in high school or moving between job and job actually stability in can brand or can go establish network. If you see someone who you aspire to be, ask them question. Don't compete with people. Along this pride can work. When you see someone kalo yung erot chap, just go judge, and someone who right? I don't know if any of you experience this, but someone who needs something from me was already judging me, so I will not help that person. Another question before when I like your question, don't teach. About from Kuala around Kuala, Samuel Ajak ever ngade. Okay. If you call line on ten, so I will pull that part. But the part of question here is that as a leader of a startup initiative, Koran startup almost like NGO social enterprise empowering women in microfinance. So he's asking, how do you motivate your volunteers to stay the course while organization is still at a level where it cannot pay everyone? So this is the reality Louis face. Majority of people are doing like impactful work, watching funding, and you want volunteer people who are big to moving until people will ban me and back pay. So how can you advise those people from your experience of HR expertise? How do you help them to use their skill to keep the volunteer happy without money?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. That is what is facing almost everyone. But volunteering without getting anything is better than staying home, because at some point when you start, you may not get both the experience and the pay. And as time goes, you may not get the pay, but you'll get the experience until you get uh, a job, a better paying job actually, than just volunteering. So, what is very important is that when you want to volunteer, when you also want uh, to be visible to potential employers, it is also good to align yourself with those organizations that are working, even if they are not paying you, they will also support you in a way that you may be attending meetings, and in those meetings, if you do well, go and connect, you will get a job at the end of the day. So I encourage you, you should continue volunteering and align, knock doors also uh, in different NGOs while you are volunteering, because even those who are changing job today, they don't get job when you are most of those affected, or those who change who are affected by the funding cuts, those who manage to go home, it's difficult now to get job, because most of the jobs they get people who are working already. And when you are also volunteering in those organizations, you can also get a chance. When you get that internet, when you get that office, you use that office space to work for them and work also for yourself. Learn new things. Also, if there are training, you do them, because by the time you get a job, you will well fit in, because you have a little bit of that experience. So uh, I can just encourage you to continue, even if it is a voluntary job. It is also going to open doors for you. That's what I can say. Otherwise, at the moment, jobs are rare. That's what I can confess. Thank you.
Absolutely. I from the management perspective, I also think there are other non-monetary values you can offer to a volunteer. Sharing resources, giving them training, being a reference, writing them recommendation letter, and more important to keep them engaged is actually to make the work purposeful. So if you get someone to volunteer, share how their work is helping the organization, right? Show the end result, because it's easy to just work, and everything goes in the void. You don't know where it end up. Some of my frustration when I volunteer is I don't get any feedback. And that's very important. You need to, as the manager or as the organization leader, give some feedback. Tell someone how they are doing. How can they improve? They are eager to learn, right? So give them that opportunity and time and attention to do that. Um,
Thank you.
yeah. in Martin. So question suppose next. We talked about mentorship. Maybe we can ask it again later. But the question that I think we should focus is now balancing family responsibility and work. Make it your work life balance. How do you make sure you are successful at work when your priorities also include family and managing other expectations outside of the office?
Maybe you come again. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm saying, can you comment on work-life balance for people who are also leading families and managing other expectations and responsibilities out of office? How do you keep growing in your career? Because energy is finite. So there.
Yeah, that's true. In workplaces, everybody's struggling, balancing ambition with family and maybe personal well-being. So that is also less about saying the right thing, about practicing consistency and visible behavior. So what is very important here is putting the real boundaries. So real boundaries are not only verbal declarations. In the workplace, there are habits that others learn to respect over time. So in a healthy workplace, and also in the most demanding ones, there are some of the things that you continue to observe. So when you want to balance these two, you'll have to set uh, clear boundaries. And clear boundaries here is you have a family to manage, and you have also a work to manage. And I used to say when I was with UNICEF that any of if there is a fault in your workplace, it may also affect your family. So what is very important is that you separate the two. Don't let your personal issue cross and affect you in your workplace. And don't let also your workplace related issue uh, go home with you, because it may also affect how you manage your own house and also your own mental health. So what is very important is that effective boundaries do not compromise uh, performance, but instead you can use them to improve focus and sustainability of either way, either home or your office. So high performing professionals who manage their energy, time, and priorities will really tend to deliver better result during the working hours. So here, building credibility is important, making it easier also to protect personal time without appearing disengaged or maybe uncommitted in your workplace. So putting boundaries is important. Then you have to also to plan how you can communicate. Communication is also key, and also uh, uh, boundaries also must be enforced calmly and consistently. I remember one of my colleague who was working in the field. Someone called at 8 p.m. on work-related issue, and when he picked up the call, then he responded, "Are you in your office now?" Then the person said, "No, I'm not in the office. I am at home." Then I said, "Okay, you call me when you are in the office tomorrow." This is how you have to set boundaries. Don't let office thing affect you in when you are with your family. So that is how you can manage your own psychological uh, well-being, and your mental health will remain intact if you really do the right thing at the right time. Your health is important. Your family is important. Your work is also important. But putting boundaries here will will make you better. So in a high pressure humanitarian uh, setting like South Sudan, I have also observed a professional or working professional who deliberately protect non-negotiable family and personal time by blocking it. So be it on calendars or treating it as the same seriousness as executive meetings. So these boundaries are communicated early, and also you upheld them consistently. If you have put a boundary, it is a boundary. Don't compromise it, and avoid also these issues of sending emails at midnight. Somebody can send you an email at midnight, and by 7 in the morning, they will come and say, "No, I sent you an email, but you did not respond." But that email was sent at midnight. So if you are working, you need to respect uh, some of the some of the things or time. And when you are having a supervisee, you don't need to harass them through emails by sending them email at night and expect them by tomorrow morning uh, they will respond. So you are treated the way you want to be treated in the workplace. So if you want to be treated nicely, put boundaries, and those email will not show up in your email in the morning, because the person will send it in the morning instead. So that is one of the things that you need to be doing as a professional who is working or who will be working in different organization, a company or any institution. So you plan better, respect timeline, expectation, and also uh, be viewed as somebody who is disciplined, focused, and dependable, not somebody who is disengaged. So the key lesson in this one here is that ambition and well-being do not compete. So poor boundaries also make uh, uh, if you don't if you have poor boundaries, then these things will compete. The ambition and your uh, mental well-being will compete, and if they compete, you lose yourself. So when boundaries are well managed and supported by performance, then as a professional, you will sustain your ambition over the long term, uh, instead of trading personal well-being for a short-term visibility. So that's what I can say about our mental well-being if you are working in an organization as a professional. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Samuel, thank you for answering that question. It is one of the most precious questions out there, yeah, for us that are soon to join and those that are there in. And it is really very hard. Like, if I can imagine how the school has been giving a lot of pressure to the extent that you cannot see, like, balance between you yourself and the task, the school task, whereby there's pressure, you have to do this, you meet the deadline, you are furnished, you have to do that. I don't know if that is how it is in most serious professional workplaces, but I can say it is really hard to put the
It
boundaries out
is.
there, because some people will just use you. And but I think it is just about saying, I don't do this, I don't do that, and you don't do it. I remember one of the certain guy that got internship when we were in school together said that when you join a workplace and you feel like you want to help everyone, right? Because you
Yeah.
just joined, you are new, and maybe you are doing an internship, and everyone, like, you want to help everyone on your desk. That's how they are going to treat you until you finish. Even if you are employed as a serious employer after the internship, they will think that you have to do that the same thing. So make sure you say no at some point if you cannot do that because you cannot do everything. So he said that entering, how you set the boundaries when you're entering at the first place is what matters. So I think yeah, that's what I got, and I think you those that have experiences can say that. So coming to
Yeah.
another question, yeah,
Okay.
coming to another question, you just talk about planning and doing the exit. Let me say retirement, and in this community right now, whereby if you are someone who is somehow strong among the community, among the clan or the family members, everything is on you, and it is like it is a mass, a mandatory thing. Like you are supposed to do this and do that, right? And it is the fact that you're gonna age, and there are something that you cannot do when you age. Like you cannot have the same energy to do it. But most of the youthful energy that we have now is that when you have something, it is your duty to do everything at the family level. So how do you really emphasize that and with how the community is, the family is, the responsibility, the plan to exit and all those things. How can you really harmonize that? Because even me, I cannot really think if it is possible in the community we have today because people will be like you are stingy, you don't want to help, you don't want to do that. So how can you harmonize that?
Yeah, yeah, sure. In the book in the book, my last book is the retirement blueprint. I have really highlighted most of the things, and we came from a background whereby there was no retirement in the first place. Especially those of us who are in South Sudan, we have no retirement system. Our retirement system is when you grow old, you will be dumped somewhere in the village and somebody will take care of you. Whatever he will feed you with is his own problem, not you. So, but things are changing. Our world is changing. But if you are working today as a professional, be it in South Sudan or outside, one thing that we lack is that we have no people to look upon to. Those who have gone through the same situation, and we have to learn from them. It is just like that we are starting from nowhere. And the reality is, as professional, we must think about our own retirement. And thinking about retirement does not need much. Although we have a lot of things to take care of, you must think about retirement, because you know if you are 20 today, or if you are 25, 30, then know that you'll reach the age of 65 and you will not be working anymore. And if you will not be working, what will happen to you? If you don't have a house, you don't have a home, and you have nothing, what will life look like? And that's what we need to think as a community, not only individuals, because at the moment, I know most of us who are working, you have a burden to cater for, and that burden will never end. It will continue. So what you need to do, you need to look at some financial freedom and build early, especially when you start working. Even if it means saving $1 a day, it may it may help you in future, because what we are doing today may not be there tomorrow. You can be having money today, you can be having a job, but that job will disappear. And if job disappear with your earnings, what happened to you? So when you are also growing old, you'll also have issues to do with health. Uh, what happens if you are sick? These are some of the things that we need to think as professionals who are working and we are not saving. Then what skills do we also need by the time you get out of that job, by the time you retire? will you be having anything running? Will you be having maybe a side hustle that can give you uh, some money to sustain yourself? So it is not something that we need to ignore. It is something that we need to embrace, and we know that it is something that is sure coming. Because at the end of the day, jobs are not eternal. Jobs will be here and they will go. So you either you start a new skill that will sustain you in future. That can maybe a single maybe a single narrow skill that can tie you to some sort of paycheck to sustain you in future, or maybe you diversify something that will create you some financial freedom. So all these are some of the things that we can assess now, but in some few years to come we may not get them. So retirement is about choices. If you will retire, when you are prepared for that retirement, you will retire better. But if you are not prepared, it will also be difficult for you. I remember in UNICEF, I was a focal point for retirees who were working in Sudan and they were transferred to South Sudan. And when I was really working with them, I really know how they struggle. Some are no longer here, and sometimes I used to shed tears because you see somebody who is over 80 struggling to come to look for something to sustain himself because he has nothing in the first place. He is only depending on that small payment that is getting from the organization. And it was like that, and those are better because they are doing something. But if you go to some of the homes in South Sudan, there are no plans. Our old age, they are struggling. Some of them cannot even reach, and that's why cannot even reach the age of 80. That's why you see the population of our elderly is really decreasing. So what we need is to start your retirement plan at the age of 20, especially your first paycheck. You need to start saving. If you don't save, for example, in South Sudan, then you'll have to look for some investment that can really sustain you when you are no longer working, be it a land as a foundation, be it a rental income. Even if you build maybe 2 room or 3 rooms and put them on rent, they can keep you uh, when you retire. Some of our community members, they invest in livestock, buy cattle and keep them. That is not also sustainable because we know how our country is. So sometimes you'll need to do something. Don't just reach the age of retirement without anything that will keep you or sustain you. Because at the moment, our children may not sustain us the way we used to sustain our fathers because the world is changing and everybody is becoming mean. And if you are not doing anything for yourself and expect your child or your or relative to take care of you, it might be a different case altogether in future. So let's invest on maybe some side hustle. When you are working, please put something aside so that you live longer in future. So that is why I wrote that book, and that book is well uh, written with different examples and how you can sustain yourself if you are if you are somebody who is planning to retire. And planning to retire also uh, is not only to have financial stability, it is having assets. It is also investing in your family, because at the end of the day, your family can be your uh, problem if you have not really worked on them. So retirement is not ending. It is just, if you retire also, it is not ending. It is the beginning. You are starting a new life. And that new life, if you have planned it better, you will be okay. But if you have not planned for it, you will not spend more time after retirement. And that is where we need to connect, we need to plan, and also we need to maintain our family relationship within our society. Because if you are connected back to your home, because when you are working, you have no time, you spend most of your time in the workplace, it may disconnect you from your family, your friends, and the society you come from. So that when you retire and come back to that society, it will be difficult to reconnect. So retirement is not an optional; it is something that we need to work for. And if you have income today, save even if it is 10%, and that will give you a better retirement package at the end of your working age. So thank you. Let me stop it there.
Have you have tried and exhausted, so it is just a matter of balancing, and it actually sure is not easy. And because as the country in economic crisis are, and you gotta really do, cousin is here, who is here, and they need support, and they see like you are capable and all those things. So, and it's kind of, it is part of the responsibility you have in the community today. So I actually don't know because I don't have experiences, but yes, it is a matter of trying to balance it, and at the end, you you don't end up being alone and broke, because like in the same community that we are in, you always see that so and so was having this, but now where is it, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that we contributed in downfall of what he or she has those days. So at the end, it is you at home alone, especially when uh, you are at your weakest point. Yeah. So let's just see how we balance it, and yeah, I will give it a go.
Thank you, Dorcas, and thank you, Samuel. Very, very important question and answers, and it's really empowering. I am cognizant of time, so and I have seen two more questions from audience, and I have another one question. If maybe Samuel, you can just answer them very fast, 1 minute, that would be amazing, so that we can finish the three and then we close the
Okay.
show. Yeah.
Mhm.
One thing that I want to add about that. So there was this one person, a homeless in Canada, Kwemoj, and this was a very accomplished person in our community, a community man. But I think a key retirement planning the Kenya juil so and what that Kenya and get the thing there to meet care. Lloyd was also good, and he was serving everyone in the community. Was the community man, the sending money, solving problem with South Sudan, and then boom, retirement came. Take a chip and we moved to another country. Meet a young man, then now he's actually homeless at old age. Where did you pay among big degrees, master's degree, work in prominent organization here, but because of poor planning, I want to go to South Africa, but see things in there on the agent because manager I'm better like I'm going So we're caught again. This is even more worse than caught a vacuum because this is caught a vacuum in about rate pan one mood. But pana it nothing pan one mood or pan a lady in the other coaching pan to chill to win well. He will to other Africa war. So take note on planning. And when he and I have I'm starting saving even $1 a day. Thank you for that. Kangaraj. So the question that is coming from audience, one another question from Paul, Adita daga kuma yin so aba nyaya aba just queen, is that a very short well, how do you constructively disagree getting your both? If for example entertain law and both are not expectations are realistic and now you want to really disagree in a way that she agree of you being fired, what will you do?
Yeah, if you disagree with your boss, what is very important is that accountability rests with the boss. You can disagree with your boss, but what is very important is how you present your disagreement to him or her. When you present your disagreement, it should be a professional disagreement. And if he or she insists, you'll have to follow because at the end of the day, uh, he or she is your boss. But to protect yourself, you can put it in writing. That's what I used to do with my bosses. If I know something is right and the boss is having a different view, I'll have to put it in writing so that you protect yourself. And here also, a boss also can try to set you up. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, you will be the loser also at the end of the day. So what you do, know when to disagree and put it in writing. Know also when to disagree and convince him or her to be on your side. And if you, uh, they used to say, when you don't beat them, you join them. The boss is at the end of the day the one in charge. And if you are defeated, you can join, but you can also try to mold, try to work on that decision that is trying to force on you to be better than the way he is presenting it. That is how you deal with bosses, but you don't fight them because at the end of the day, your career your career is on your boss' fingertip. He can destroy you, or she can destroy you. So you have to be respectful and disagree with him or her respectfully. That is how you do it. Thank you.
Wow, wow. I didn't man di ran ti ping. So na to ten we just ping yes, yes. Kulo share viranda la ping because that's one of the toughest situation you can find yourself in. And knowing that you know to walk into around the chin, so you'll be there every time, so be smart on how to navigate that.
That's
Question
correct.
from Mati before one, my last question, T, is that where's the direction of job market heading to right now, and what strategies can people take to keep lock on their pathways? So she's asking about where is the market going, and what can the young people, do in their careers to align with the job market.
That is true. The current job market now is unpredictable. It is the current job market is really unpredictable. As you have seen, technology is taking over. Robots will soon take over some jobs, and also uh, recruitment method is also changing, and how you do the job is also changing. So in few years to come, we may find ourselves jobless, and what will be important is what you do. What are you doing as a person, not a job? Because if you look at this year, 2025, might not be the same as 2026. Because those who are losing job today, the rate we are losing job today is very high. And the red technology is also taking over some of the jobs is also very high. So in few years to come, uh, job may disappear, but it will depend on how creative we are as humans to move elsewhere. For example, if factories are being taken over by technology, which area do we remain with? Maybe agriculture. Agriculture as a whole, being livestock, farming, and all those mechanized farming. And also we have also mechanized farming. You see, it is not going also to take more staff to work in those factories. So things will be difficult, and the job market is really dynamic, and only time will tell whether there will be jobs or not. But as we have already seen, jobs are reducing everywhere, and we have also to adjust our skills. Those who are taking their careers today may be going with technology more than the other career that we used to take. I remember those who used to do business, for example. I did human resources, but is our job market still the same? No. And those who have done business administration, is the job market still the same? No. So we have to realign our skills with the current trends in the job market. Thank you.
Well said, well said. And that really go hand in hand with the last final question that is asking. If someone is listening now, is standing at a career crossroads, someone who is watching the U-turn show today or will be watching it later on, and this conversation find him or her at the crossroad, what U-turn decision will that can make this person, you know, succeed in their career? Like what U-turn decision that will make this person career trajectory even, on point. If you were to advise that this week, if you do this one thing this week, by January next year, you in between a different place. What advice would that be?
Yeah, if someone is standing at a career crossroad today, especially those who are watching this show, they can, uh, I can honestly tell them what you need to do is that you need to start with a truthful career audit. Ask yourself without being defensive, defensive. If your job ends tomorrow, what would I really rely on? Or which skills would I meaningfully increase my employability, for example, in the next maybe few months? And am I also protected by capability or by my current role? So these are some of the things when you are watching this show today and you want to move forward. So what is very important here is the clarity alone uh, often change the behavior. If you have answers for those questions that I'm trying to put across, you will know where to go. So sometimes it can take you one course to one course do to change or to strengthen your skills, or you can also reconnect either with mentor or a professional who will speak truth about uh, how you will continue with your career. And by doing so, you begin saving consistently. Even if it is $1 a day or a month, it would also save your own future. So what is important here? Uh, you need to read, you need to observe, be observant. Where are we coming from and where is the world going today? Then you adjust yourself. You don't need to be caught by change. Change is one of the expensive things. If it caught you unaware, you will never recover from it. And that is why when you have an opportunity to change things, you change them before the change found you. So a small action that you start today can change your life maybe in future. And that is by planning ahead of those things that are coming, especially with the current downturn, being financial, being the job market, things are really bad and we need to be prepared. So careers really change through breakthroughs. Uh, they only change through directional decision, maybe repeated over time. So a small disciplined move can confound you to quite into a very good leverage, confidence, and freedom. So, what you need to do as a youth and a supporter myself, you need to begin with your career today and save for your own future. Prepare for your job. Even if you are working today, you may be a candidate for job loss tomorrow. So don't wait until things happen. Don't only react to crisis. You prepare for crisis. And if a crisis hit, it found you when you are prepared already. Uh, and at the end of the day, this world belongs to people who prepare, not people who wait to be surprised by change. And as a youth and member, or those who are watching on live, start today by updating your CV. Start today by maybe enrolling in a course. Start today by practicing some of the interview skills. Be a different way of interviews. You need to to do it. And by the end of the day, also you need to connect, build your own network with your professionals in line of your profession, and you will be okay. The change will not caught you by surprise. That's what I can add to our audience. We need to be proactive when dealing with the job market dynamics. And the job market nowadays is reducing and reducing, and we are producing a lot of professionals. So the competition in the job market is very high, and only those who are prepared may get jobs. If you are not prepared, you'll continue doing interviews and you'll never go anywhere. And if you don't also get honest feedback from your mentors, you will not also move an inch moving forward. You'll only be going backward because the skill that we have today can also diminish if you don't update it. And if you continue learning, you'll continue to learn more, and your chances of getting jobs will continue to increase and increase, and the job market uh, will be yours if you stay updated. Thank you.
That's so powerful. So, Iran Ping, what have you learned today? If you were to be asked that Indira Da you can show what three things would you say that you have learned from today's conversation? Put them in the comment section there. Let Samuel Ajak know that you were listening, you were learning, and you are taking away some practical things being in career to like shopping. Maybe before I close it, Lakir, I don't know, you can lead by example. What three things, Lakir, have you learned today that if you go out, host U10 today, and we're talking about career foundation and success strategies. What would those three things be? And then after that, I will end the show. Really, really thankful for the wisdom, Samuel.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do after the conversation is do a reflection. I think I'm a bit of the career crossroads, and work on my strategic plan for 2026, um, and implement advice that I've learned today with from the expert in HR and workplace dynamics, Samuel Ajak. Um, Number two is to get another mentor, specifically for career. Getting a mentor and getting an honest feedback on what where I'm standing right now. So those are two things. Number three is actually updating my resume. Um, I haven't been in the market for a long time, and I think I need to update my job search skills. And that's that with the resume or cover letter and moving from there. But yeah, first reflection, knowing where I want to go from here. It's good to see a roadmap and then plan how to get there. So thank you so much, Samuel. I really appreciate this conversation. I'm excited for 2026.
Thank you.
Tell me about it. We'll be job hunting next year for fun until to book the kid for a career book a short. So this thing we have been sleeping, thinking things are good until somewhere earlier when you know.
You know, at some point, let me just add something. Kechol, losing a job. I remember one of my colleagues at some point when we were here in UNICEF is from Cameroon. Nigel ban, okay, ban with only for 3 months. Kule yen kulela position do you abolish, and you'll have to go home. Goran go enam la rier gor, kuyel bora ret jel diao. Go chalo no ke je, okay ban. Ba ko yat kadang go ban ko. Go nyen we could be kujelo le yong na yo. Yelele yong ye we nyi ke mana da position na chabeto go yaka en chobo. Go jal chola en wa jalo ja man in ja like any. Sometimes when this door close, another one opens. You may not know that this is a redirection to a better position or a better opportunity. So what you need to do, don't waste your time on what you have lost. Start from here. Let's work on your CV. So we started with your CV. Then I coach him on how to do the interview. And then we waited. 2 months later, he got even a better position, a promotion. Then the guy could not even hide. He was so happy. He
Oh,
said, I gave up. I didn't even know what to do, but you came in to rescue my career. So at some point, if you lose a job, don't lose focus. If you lose focus, you will never get up and your career is gone. So, Nonkoi die, your career is number one. And and a career is something that you can also feed like a child. It is not something that you can only have and you just stay. For example, those young graduates. Rana ban ku jel chat kan warak ku kakin rot adjust. So you need to adjust yourself to the job market by aligning yourself. Non ko lui. Ko ka be guided, but it is not what you know that counts in the job market. It is how you align yourself, how you connect yourself, and how you learn from people who are there already. So ko job next year will be tough, and Chiran Tolwell Kuluar Juba that Pandan Juba Run Kujalwell tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow jala worse than yesterday. That is how the job market will be in few years to come. So let's continue to pull up our socks. Let's continue to put our brave faces and face the current challenges that are coming. So thank you for hosting me today. Thank you.
thank you so much, Samuel. You really, really open our eyes. Thank you so much for sharing, practical insight. Like you share the stories that are relatable. And so for everyone who has just joined today's conversation, really, really has reminded us that careers are just straightforward. Watch the story around where Africa, you go big and the youth and to the top level. So we need to be open to make U-turn in our careers, to face challenges and to adapt to them, to realign our skill set, to make ourselves more valuable so that to be a sacrifice when opportunity sacrifice people come. So that's a big takeaway from this. So if you find this conversation, this show actually resonating with you, you are sure that it can resonate to another person in your network. So please share it. Let someone get this encouragement, especially the last story. Ben Peter, Benella Chopping, Ben the plan for next year, Benella Chopping. Why youth and why Ben Life every Saturday around this time. So next week we'll be here. We'll be talking about now agriculture and business, agribusiness. Samuel actually well in the agriculture and the only thing that might not be replaced by technology. So what will I do for it? How do because and and we should pay attention to that space, especially who out back home in Africa, who still have food insecurity. This is an area that is a top one of very good rainbow land with good sunshine. I should know the every year. So let's come next week to talk about agribusiness and get real stories from people that are doing it right now. Let's be inspired and let's join forces with them. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Samuel, for your time, your wisdom. If na Iran Korba, Boga Samuel Quinn, and Chekanaja Quinn, how to win in the job market. It's the best thing that you can do. I have 4 of them already. Another one, how to turn setback into comeback. Very powerful. I have a Quinn. How to thrive in a workplace. And of course, the workplace wisdom. We can't run a retirement because and I need to plan my time and I need strategies. Go get the Jerry and go with the better book back out. The responsibilities is your family and extended family. How to balance that? I need some insight, some wisdom, step by step guide. I tell you, Carva Bell. But talk of a car, ABCD. So thank you so much. Thank you, Ajanda.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, be sure that booth here. You can continue to watch the show, put your comment there, and let's meet again next week. Thank you all.
Thank you.